Good morning. We're so sorry to keep you waiting, but I don't know if you all realize this, but we just filmed this with a phone and a very fancy tripod, except that phone and tripod today kept tipping me sideways and upside down, and it just was so crazy. So anyhow, let's start with our opening song. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. First we'll clap our hands just so. Then we'll bend and touch our toes. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. All right, so I know that Hanukkah just ended. Christmas and Kwanzaa are getting close, so we have some different holiday books today.
Cece is already on watching today, Miss Sheila.
Oh, hi Cece. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for joining me today. My first book is called Peet the Cat Saves Christmas. And you know I love Peet the Cat. We've read lots of Peet the Cat books. Peet was created and illustrated by James Dean, and the story is by Eric Litwin. And this is published by Harper, which is part of HarperCollins Publishers. I love this. This little birdie says tweet when the birdie sees that Santa's calling. 'Twas the day before Christmas, and Santa was ill. In the cold winter wind, he had caught a bad chill. Oh, poor Santa. Will Christmas be canceled? Will it come to that? Never, said Santa. Let's call Peet the Cat. Santa asked Peet to deliver the toys to all the good girls and to all the good boys. But Peet's out surfing. How's he going to get to the North Pole? I'll do it, said Peet. And although I am small, at Christmas we give, so I'll give it my all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all. Peet jumped in his minibus and started to roll. Road trip, cried Peet. First stop, the North Pole. He's going all the way from Key West in Florida. You don't drive too fast there, Peet. Well, the reindeer were waiting to give Peet a tow, so he packed up the presents and told them to go. Then the minibus flew just like in a movie. Peet the Cat cried, "This is totally groovy." I can do it, said Peet, and although I'm small, at Christmas we give, so I'll give it my all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all. As the children were sleeping all snug in their beds, Peet and his reindeer appeared overhead. Straight down the chimney, Peet flew in a dash, then back to his minibus, quick as a flash. Each time he delivered a holiday gift, he crossed off a name written on Santa's list. Oh my goodness! Santa's list was so big, and Peet felt so small. Let me see if there's any names I recognize on here. Michael, Piper, Sophia, Emma, Josh, Evan, Brian, Maya, Cece. Well, at Christmas we give, and we give it our all. Give it all, your all. Give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all. At the very last minute, they reached the last house. Peet dashed in and out, quiet as a mouse. Then right at the break of a new Christmas day, Peet and his reindeer were flying away. Back at the North Pole, old Santa was waiting. The elves and the townsfolks were all celebrating. The elves say, "Thank you, Peet." And then one little tiny elf says, "Small is cool." Santa was dressed in his red coat and hat and cried, "Hip, hip, hooray for our friend, Peet the cat." "I did it," said Peet, "and although I am small, in the spirit of Christmas I gave it my all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all." Thanks, Peet the cat. So I'm going to pause for just a minute, and if you have any bells or shakers or something like that that you could use for our next song, why don't you run and get it? And if you don't, well then that's okay. You could just clap your hands. Okay? So we've got a funny Christmas song called "Ring Those Bells." Have you been hearing bells when you're outside? Maybe like reindeer bells? You know what? Rudolph, my friend here, he doesn't have any reindeer bells. I'll have to tie one on his collar later. Ready? Actually, Miss Katie, I'm going to stand up to sing this song. So she needs to scoot that camera around. So like I said, I'm going to sing "Ring the Bells." But if you don't have bells, you can shake a shaker or clap your hands. Ring the bells and turn around. Ring the bells and turn around. Ring the bells and turn around. Holidays are near. Ring the bell and stomp your feet. Ring the bell and stomp your feet. Ring the bell and stomp your feet. The holidays are near. Now we're going to make it kind of quiet. Ring the bells quietly. Ring the bells quietly. Ring the bells quietly. The holidays are near. Thank you for joining me there. So, not all kids around the world celebrate Christmas. Sometimes they have other winter holidays that they celebrate, like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Chinese New Year. This book is about a girl whose family doesn't celebrate Christmas, but she still loves Christmas and she loves Santa. It's called "Dear Santa, Love, Rachel Rosenstein." This book was written by Amanda Peet and Andrea Troyer and illustrated by Christine Davenier. And this book is published by Doubleday Books for Young Readers. You can see this is a library book. We've got a date due slip. We've got a stamp that says North Branch Library. So if you like this book, you could put it on hold and then have your mom or dad pick it up at curbside. Rachel Rosenstein loved Christmas. She loved the 1,000 twinkly lights that went up in her neighborhood, the ginormous Christmas tree in the town square, and the store windows crowded with Santas, elves, candy canes, tinsel, and piles of presents wrapped in shiny, beautiful paper. Everyone on her block celebrated Christmas. everyone except for Rachel Rosenstein. The Rosensteins didn't celebrate Christmas because they were Jewish. Being Jewish was fun most of the time. It meant you got to hunt for the afikomen on Passover and blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah and get a present a day for all 8 days of Hanukkah, not to mention all the latkes you could eat. Where I used to live, I had lots of friends who celebrated Hanukkah, so now I miss eating latkes. It meant that when they celebrated Shabbat, Rachel and her friends and families passed around the challah, that's this really delicious bread, and said the same blessings that Papa Murray said as a child, and his papa before that, and his papa before that, and on until Rachel's head began to spin. But when Christmas came to town, Rachel felt like a kid in a candy store with no mouth. "Can we please put up some lights this year?" she asked, staring out the window at her best friend Tina's house. "No," said her mom. "How about a tree? Emily Berenbaum's family has a tree, and they're Jewish." "You can't sit on on 2 horses with one behind," said Papa. Mama said, "I think I can after that big meal." That night, Rachel wrote Santa a secret letter. "Dear Santa, I live in the brick house on Huntley Drive. Yes, the one with no Christmas decorations. It does have a chimney, and there will be cookies waiting if you come down it. I've been really good all year, and I know that you are a fair person, and you will not mind that I am Jewish. After all, so was Jesus, at least on his mother's side. Love, Rachel Rosenstein." Oh, here's her sister, Hannah. "Christmas is less than a week. There's no way that letter's going to get to the North Pole in time." Hannah had a point. As luck would have it, a couple of days later, Tina's mom asked Rachel if she would like to tag along to see Santa at the mall. "Did you get my letter?" Rachel asked him when it was her turn. "I sure did," said Santa. "But remind me what that said." "Are you coming to my house even though I'm Jewish?" "Time for a picture," said an elf. Click, click, flash. And for a moment Rachel couldn't see, and the next thing she knew, someone else was on Santa's lap. Now Christmas was only 1 day away. Look how busy Rachel is. Santa was going to skip over her house unless she did something radical. She made decorations and she made popcorn chains. There was just one thing missing: cookies for Santa. In the kitchen there were no cookies, just leftover latkes. Rachel pressed some chocolate chips into them and tried one. It was good, better than good. She ate 3 more and put the last one out for Santa with a glass of milk. So see, she made stockings and she made signs for Santa. "I love you, Santa. Love, Rachel." The Rosensteins were all ready for Christmas. Even their doggies wearing some antlers. Rachel stayed awake as long as she could, lying in her bed, listening for the clip-clop of Santa's reindeer on the roof. Visions of sugar plums danced in her head. But the next morning, arg! There were no piles of presents. Hannah cried, My shirt! What did you do to my favorite shirt? What's all the commotion? Asked Mom. Christmas is stupid, and so is Rachel, yelled Hannah. Rachel cried. Across the street, she could see Tina's family in pajamas opening the presents Santa had brought for them. Her mother sat down next to her. Sometimes, no matter how badly we want something, we just have to accept what is. Okay, I gotta get to work. Nobody else's mom works on Christmas, Rachel said. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean there aren't sick kids at the hospital. The world does not stop. So Rachel cleaned up her mess. Later that afternoon, her dad took them to a park, which was practically empty. And for dinner, they took Papa Murray to the Chinese place they went to every Christmas. Papa Murray ate chicken feet that looked exactly like chicken feet. And Rachel's dad stuck chopsticks in his nose like a walrus. Don't try this at home. Rachel tried to eat her favorite salty dumplings, but she was too sad. Hold on, I skipped an important page. Come back, come back. There we go. Then she saw some familiar faces. Lucy Deng from her class, and Mike Rashid, and Amina Singh. Hey, what are you guys doing here? We don't celebrate Christmas, and this is the only place still open, said Mike. Do you celebrate Hanukkah too? No, said Lucy, but Chinese New Year is in a few weeks. Amina said, we celebrate Diwali. It's a festival of lights. Hanukkah is a festival of lights, said Rachel. I celebrate my birthday, said Lucy's little sister. The older kids laughed. Everyone does that. And Rachel realized there were many great holidays in the world. Why feel so bad about one little old day like Christmas? Well, maybe she might still feel a tiny bit bad. The end. And maybe next year Rachel will remember to send her letter a little bit earlier. So I have a poem for us, but the first thing I want to do is show you some signs. If you were here for story time last year, and so many things have changed since last year, you might remember this poem. So we're going to do this for twinkle, which I'm not sure if that's real sign language or not, but it'll work. This is the sign for night. This is like the sun going past the horizon. And this is stars, and we'll do this for candle, all right? And we'll do it 2 times. So the first time you can listen and get a feel for how it goes, and the second time you can try it with me. Ready? What goes twinkle in the night? Twinkle, twinkle, star so bright. What goes twinkle in the night? Twinkle, twinkle, candlelight. What goes twinkle in the night? I forgot to teach you an important sign. This is beautiful. Twinkling is a beautiful sight. All right, let's try that one again. What goes twinkle in the night? Twinkle, twinkle, star so bright. What goes twinkle in the night? Twinkle, twinkle, candlelight. What goes twinkle in the night? Twinkling is a beautiful sight. I hope you get out to see the beautiful stars and moon, because last night was the longest night of the year, but it's still going to be dark for a little while before we get to the shortest day of the year in June. All right, my last book is Click, Clack, Ho, Ho, Ho by Doreen, Cronin, and Betsy, Lewin. And they've written lots of these click-clack books, like Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. I love these stories because these animals are so clever. And this is Click, Clack, Ho, Ho, Ho. This is published by Athenum Books for young readers. And I love how these animals are so smart that they celebrate Halloween and Christmas. Snow is falling, lights twinkle. A few creatures are stirring. It is Christmas Eve. There's a jingle in the air. Farmer Brown stops to listen. Santa is on his way. Look, we have stockings for mice, pigs, sheep, cows. Aw, Farmer Brown remembered all his critters. Uh-oh, what is that sneaky duck up to? There's a swooshing above. Farmer Brown runs to the window. Santa's getting close. There's that sneaky duck again. There's a pitter-patter on the roof. Farmer Brown hurries off to bed. Santa is almost here. Oh, Santa, he left some hot chocolate and cookies for Santa. Here's that duck again. What? Wonder what that is in the sky. Could it be a sled and reindeer? Ho, ho, uh-oh. Duck is stuck. All right, I want you to notice that that line's going to come up a few more times in the story. So when you see ho, ho, remember we're going to say ho, ho, uh-oh. The sheep go up to unstuck duck. Ho, ho, uh-oh. The sheep are stuck. The cows go up to unstuck duck. Ho, ho, uh-oh. The cows are stuck. The pigs go up to unstuck duck. Ho, ho, uh-oh. Now the pigs are stuck. They all go up to unstuck duck. Ho, ho, uh-oh. Everyone is stuck. It's Santa's turn to unstuck duck. Ho, ho, oh no. Don't be silly. Santa would never get stuck. Phew. Kicked up a lot of dust and dirt, huh? Now all around the tree in the light's warm glow, all the creatures are stirring. Ho, ho, ho. Farmer Brown got back up too. Bye, Santa. Thanks for the presents and getting everyone unstuck. So, I don't know if you heard in that book they were saying all the creatures are stirring, and that's because there's a very famous poem called The Night Before Christmas, and it says, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Well, you know what? Santa loves Summit County Library so much that Santa's going to come read that book on Christmas Eve at 6 o'clock. So go to the library Facebook page and look at Santa and listen to him read. And he'll say, and Merry Christmas to all. And then Santa's going to have to get moving because he's got a lot of presents to deliver. So, speaking of presents, I have a little craft that you could use either to tie on a present, or maybe, you know, we've got a hook here on the candy cane. You could hang it on your Christmas tree. So we've got a bear with eyes and a fuzzy nose, and he's hanging on in a big bear hug to a candy cane. So if I have now kits with all the pieces, if you either make an appointment to visit the library or have your mom or dad call for curbside pickup, we'll put your name on the bag and we'll stick it in our bin outside. Another thing that we have here at the library that's pretty fun, it is called a winter break reading bingo. And so you have all kinds of choices of books you can read, or someone can read to you, like a big brother, big sister, mom or dad. Like you could have hot cocoa, you could read in your pajamas, read an author you've never read before, read in a blanket fort. So if you turn these in, after Christmas, sometime probably after New Year, we'll do a drawing and we'll have just a little prize, nothing too big. But even if you don't win a prize, you can definitely have fun reading some very awesome books. All right, our closing song for today, I'm sure you've heard, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Today we're going to sing We Wish You Happy Holidays. And this is the sign for happy, and this is the sign, whoops, is that right? That's the sign for Halloween. We'll do happy holidays like we're doing the top of a wreath, and a healthy new year. We'll do the sign for fine, because we want everyone to no more sick people. Everyone be fine and healthy for the new year. Ready? We wish you a happy holidays. We wish you happy holidays. We wish you happy holidays and a healthy new year. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday time. And we'll see you in 2021.